definitely very beneficial, to have those relationships in place. So, whether that's a business relationship or just a friendship in general.
So we all fucking try shit. We all don't want to give up. We all don't want to look like we're a failure.
Nobody likes it when they're doing the same thing and it's not working. Like it can get very you can get very negative like
everything that I'm working on, I'm very transparent because I want the community, I want the help. I want.
Be ready to change yourself. Be ready to challenge your better self. Know that your mind can develop a passionate winning spirit, but not by yourself. We guarantee your family in love with your life, and you're gonna love all the grind. Lewis and Bars together, we develop your mindset with vitamin C for your mind. Don't you settle with what you know. There's much to learn, there's much to earn. Tell yourself I'm ready to fight, ready to be heard. Out of success and awakening rise. There's so many words that turn into prices. Be ready to change for the best. Step up and be great, don't be like the rest. Develop your mindset.
Hi everyone, this is Develop Your Mindset podcast. My name is Varj, and this is
Luis.
Luis is here. We're gonna start our new podcast. This is number 59. We've been doing for a while, and this is amazing. We learned so much. We're so much better. We got really good content for you guys. We usually, what we do here is we talk about what happens in the company, in our lives, in our experience weekly, what we go through. We take all the good parts and the crazy parts, put it together, make a beautiful content so we can sit and talk about. Hopefully you guys are gonna learn from it and get value out of this kind of knowledge, information, because we are one of those people that we don't stop. We just keep on pushing our thresholds, and we learn a lot from everything. So we're doing a lot. Here we go. This week the topic is going to be somewhere around staying positive through adversity. So I think we all need a little bit of the positivity because we go through a lot. So people around us going through a lot. So basically, we live in Los Angeles, in USA. If you guys are watching this from outside, from another country, and it's been really, not so easy for our people here. It's been almost 5 months now, and we've been still going through this this environment here, and we have a lot to talk about. Here we go. And I'm gonna let you yourself say your...
Yeah, so welcome back everybody to another podcast episode. Like always, it's always exciting to come here and be able to share what I know with you guys. And yeah, I mean, positivity, like you were saying, it's extremely important, especially in these times. This year has been like no other, and so we definitely got to stay positive if we want to advance and progress in life and really make the necessary changes in order to be able to live the life that we want to and be able to share that with others as well. So without further ado, I'm ready to get started.
Beautiful. So number one, as I said earlier, staying positive through adversity. That's very, very crucial, very important, because our minds get depressed and a little bit lonely, a little bit, start thinking about stuff that is going on around us, and kind of like get you in this place where it gets heavy, it gets lonely. And you have to kind of like come out of it. How I do it, I stay positive. How do I stay positive? I listen to positive things. I listen to stuff that makes a difference in my life and people that are connected with me. And what is it? I like to learn about money. I like to learn about mindset. I like to learn about self-development, and on and on and on and on. I do watch a lot of videos, read a lot of books, listen to books, spend my time actually taking action, doing stuff. So that keeps me up and going and keeps me focused. And a lot of people around me, they get the energy, they feed off of my energy, and they, I help them, and I hope stays this way, and this is what I want to do. And end of the day, we do what we want to do, and pretty much, if you're doing the right thing, stay on that path. Also, get better.
Yeah, of course. I mean,
that's how we start.
yeah. So staying positive through adversities.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, adversities are inevitable. I mean, they're gonna happen no matter what. Like you're out there, you're experiencing life, you're doing things, you're challenging yourself, you're pursuing your passions. Whatever it is that you're doing out there, you will face some sort of adversity, some sort of challenge. And so, one of the factors, of course, there's a couple things that you're gonna have to do when you're faced with adversity. Besides educating yourself in order to be able to move forward. But the one main thing that you should consider doing is staying positive, because positivity, in of itself, it gives you like that energy. It gives you that that mindset to be able to move forward, as opposed to going on a negative route where you become more stagnant, you become more, you sort of like surrender, you quit, you pretty much stop once you hit an adversity, because you get very negative. But when you get positive, you use that adversity as a way to improve yourself, to grow, and to become much better. And so that's the core importance of being positive. And yes, not a lot of people see that importance in positivity, but believe me, it's extremely important. It can make a huge difference, between even if you know how to actually, like, you have the technique to overcome that adversity, if you approach that technique from a positive mindset, it's more likely to work, as opposed to if you're negative and you still implement that technique, it might not work as well, because the way you implement that is like, when you're positive, you believe in it, and when you're negative, you sort of like, you don't quite believe in it as much. So that will affect how you implement your technique. So definitely stay positive, and that'll help you a lot in order for you to, get through adversity.
For sure, that's definitely, it's important to stay positive. You have, I was gonna say you have nothing to lose, but you probably have a lot to lose if you don't stay positive.
Yeah.
The other is as true as the positive and negative.
Yeah.
So stay positive. Forming alliance and learning how to work with other company heads. This is very, very important. We've been experiencing this last 3 weeks. You've been in and out, and then we're working together. And I've been experiencing this for last 30 years, working with other company and people, heads of companies. It's so. It's very different. It's so different than having friends, visiting somebody or something like that. Because end of the day, there are wins and losses between you and other company heads that you're working with. Everyone's into obviously winning, money advancement, company advancement, and whatever that advancement is, you that time that company is working on. So sometimes there are butting heads and like not understanding. It's like you have to learn how to undo this tie that it happens, and you cannot spend too much time there because it gets old and it gets annoying. Other times I experience, it doesn't matter how good you are, how good of product you have, the person has an ego or issue, or it's a what do you call, that head person maybe has some kind of personality difference. And it won't work. You'll try to do it, you'll try your best, you make your designs, your ideas, everything, the pricing right, everything, and it still won't work. And it's okay, I guess. There's the end of the day, the ocean is big, there's plenty of fish in the ocean, both sides. And So that's why you have to stay committed. You have to stay focused on your end goal, end game, whatever that game is you're playing. So you have to form alliance between people that at this point I guess you can fall back on, and you can ask help or ask guidance or something. Then those alliances are very important to have. And I personally created that for myself throughout the years. There are people that they turn like they're my brothers, and I just met them through my business venture life. And but end of the day, I have such a good relationship with these people that business or no business, it doesn't matter anymore. It's just turned into brotherhood, and you gotta have this for you. We all are doing what we're doing, and we need that alliances. You gotta build this with the company heads, and you gotta recognize that person is company head, and he's got responsibility. He's gonna make sure that company is still floating, and work with this person accordingly, and make sure that he is benefiting from your from you, and she able to run his own company and floating. So when you get back, when you need any help, that person's going to be there. The company's going to be there for you to be able to return the favor, so to speak. So this is where pretty much this resides, and this is how it works. And I've experienced a few things this week. I don't want to dive deep into those things, but this is something that I've experienced this week, and I want to put out there for you guys to understand. This is how it works. You have to work and make sure that you've created alliance with other company heads.
Yeah, for sure. So there's not much here for me to say, but because I'm still going through that. So I'm still on my journey. I'm still growing, so I'm still in that process of working with other people. And so just here, when I started working here, was when I actually started to learn things like networking and making connections, and deepening my relationships and stuff like that. So I would say that I'm still in the early stages of doing something like that, but definitely with what I've experienced so far, I mean, I can see that it's definitely very beneficial to have those relationships in place, whether that's a business relationship or just a friendship in general, or whatever it is, whatever kind of alliance, it can really help you to, whether that's for positivity, whether that's for guidance, whether that's for it could be a hands-on assistance. It could be from so many angles, but definitely the more you're able to learn to work with different people and more company heads, as we're saying here, the more you'll be able to learn, and then the more experience you'll gain, the more you'll be exposed to. And so when that happens, I mean, you'll be growing yourself as a person, and also at the same time you have that opportunity to pretty much offer whatever your value is as well to those people. So it's always a win-win, and it's always it's great to form these alliances. So never shy away from them. Always try to go out there and make some alliances. If you're not exactly doing this right now, you're not very comfortable doing it, start small. Start approaching maybe one new person a day, then maybe you can elevate it to 2, 3, 4, and so on and so forth. But definitely it's going to help you a lot in the future. So yeah,
for sure. We're going to be talking about how to do it and what to avoid. That's very very important, because a lot of times people don't know what to avoid. They sometimes it gets really rough, and they still push it. They still go through that because they feel like they're right, and they have to say what they feel like. But you have to understand that when you do that, you're closing the doors, and we're going to be talking about that. So let's move on to the next. Why it's important to look forward to your new venture and the outcomes. Target and how to predict it before coming to intuition. Now, there is importance in everything. Yeah, when you see that something is important, when I see something is important, I take it very seriously. I don't play around with it. I don't think literally about it. I just take it so serious because I don't want to work for nothing. I don't want to waste my time or somebody else's time. End of the day, we guys always hear, if you listen to this podcast a lot, you guys always hear that we talk about we don't have 300 years on this planet. We have finite of time. Don't waste it. When something is important, take it as it's very important to look forward to your new venture. You know, we always want to grow, become better. We want to do better things. We want to do better designs. We want to do better photos. We want to do better websites. We want to do better designing. We want to do better. And so take that seriously. It's important. Don't take it literal, like it's not important. And the outcome is very important. Whatever time you're spending, you got to have some kind of outcome that's coming out from the results of your fruit, like what you're planting. And then don't lose your target. It's very important. Have your target right in front of you. When you feel like you're derailing out of your target, you're going to another direction, you have to slowly, nicely come back to the path of going to your target. And that sometimes it's very technical, you know, like there are reasons when you start diverting into another lane, and that reason it could be a person or it could be a time. A reason there is a reason, but now just to come back to your target, to come back to where you were before. Sometimes we harm people. We say things that we don't mean, and we do something not so popular. And there's two ways you can deal with that. You can just fucking do it. Don't worry about anything. Or you can take your time and then make sure everyone's feeling okay, slowly moving to the side for you to open a room to come back to your target. So that's your choice. You can do whatever you want, right? So, and how to predict it before coming to intuition, how to predict it, it's experience. You got to do it a lot. You got to do a lot, and you got to learn from doing it a lot. You can be doing a lot and not caring, not like it's not important. Earlier how I said, you gotta care, you gotta learn. If you don't have good memory, start writing shit down, you know. Get a journal, start writing things down. Who said what, why did you say this, who said, and then at night sometimes open your pages, start reading, like, you know, 5 months ago, a year and a half ago, whatever ago, I said this, he said that, and learn from it. It's a learning, you know. So I do that, and I learn, and I make sure that, you know, I'm able to predict before coming to intuition. Sometimes it's harder to reverse what happened. So if you can reverse it before becoming a reality, forgot there was a word for it, but to reality, it's much easier. So yeah, take it important. When it's important, take it seriously.
Yeah, so yeah, pretty much every venture, every you know, whatever that may be, it's always yeah, like you said, it's important for you to, you know, take it serious, and always you know what your outcomes are, know what the target is, you know. That way you have a more I would say more solid, more structured way to get there, as opposed to just you know, operating in a very confused and random and just scattered way in order for you to get to your target. Because it's important that you have steps, and you have some sort of procedure and something that you follow, you know, so that you're not confused and you don't start to slide off, or you start doing things that aren't going to necessarily help you out to get to the target. So definitely it's important to look forward to that. And of course, you know, just like you were talking about the relationships and stuff like that, I mean, it's definitely important to
yeah, For sure,
To-
you can
Yeah.
ignore your relationships. It's such important.
For sure, it's. I think you covered it very right. I mean, you have to know, and of course, it's really good to know, like, to prepare your intuition and to be able to, predict that before it actually happens or something, goes out of control or something like that. Because then it's much. You have to put in a little bit more work now to, bring it back to how it was initially. So definitely, work on that, practice that, and yeah, treat these two as equals. You have your target, and so you have your steps, but you also have the relationships and the alliances and the people who are going to help you get there as well, because you're not going to do this by yourself. So make sure you're in constant communication with them, and you nurture those relationships so that everybody's like on the same page, and everybody's like focused on the same goal.
Yeah, for sure. What was I thinking? You were saying about alliance. It's very important. It's like, I can't emphasize enough that's why and how important it is. So, a lot of introverts. I know you are, and I used to be, and I'm a little bit still am. But you gotta get out of your skin. You gotta do it. So next one, when you're trying something and not working, if you keep fixing, spending money, and hoping that it's going to work and doing the same thing, it is terrible for your mind and for your belief system, and experiencing a drifting. So these are something that actually happened this week. I'm not gonna name people. I'm not gonna say what it was, but this is what happened. So, like, I was boiling inside when this happened, and for a short time. You guys have to remember to do what you do. Short time, get out of it, stay focused, and so let me try to break this down for you guys. What happened, and hopefully this is going to help you guys with your experiences. You might be going through something like this too. When you're trying something and not working, so we all fucking try shit. We all don't want to give up. We all don't want to look like we're a failure. We all wishing and hoping that it's going to work, like, no matter what we're doing, right? So you have to be aware of what you're doing. Like I said earlier, write it down if you can't keep up with yourself, in your mind. Sometimes these things are a little bit longer than usual, such as maybe in that 3 months you're experiencing 3-4 similar things. It's happening, and you're forgetting the one before how it happened, and you have to not forget. You have to have good memory. Memory is the key to success too. So either you're writing shit down, or your memory is so good that you're remembering and putting it, lining it back to back and trying to figure out, the reasoning, the cause. So basically, to keep fixing something, spending money and hoping that it's gonna work, it's pretty much insanity too. Now, money can't fix everything. Money can fix a lot of shit, but it's not gonna fix everything. Knowing people doing the right thing, it's a sure promise that you're gonna most likely get the money, if that's what you're working towards, or most likely get the girl. So you have to spending money is not going to do it. A little bit of intelligence will help, little bit of knowledge will help, little bit of knowing people will help. Everything, you need everything. You can't just rely on money and fix problems hoping that next time that problem is not going to come about and it's going to work, it's going to be okay. Sometimes it's not okay. Doing the same thing, it is terrible for your mind and for your belief system. Now, like, we all have morals. and we feel good or we feel bad. After spending all the money, all the effort, all the time that you're hoping that it's going to work and it's not working, now it's going to affect you no matter what. It's going to affect you very terribly, and you're going to feel suck, you're going to feel sorry, you're going to start protecting your ego and yourself, you're going to start arguing with people, you're going to start just becoming loud and obnoxious and making people pissed off all around you. The thing is, feeling terrible, it's a lot of negative thoughts gonna start ruling in your mind, and it's gonna take your effort, time to get rid of them, and then you're gonna have to spend a lot of time working, dissolving a lot of issues there. And when you're doing something wrong, and then you're hoping the best, and then you're forgetting to understand weeks, months ago this all happened, and you're not paying attention, you're pushing towards it's going to be okay, stay positive. And then the thing is, like, when you experience something, you have to recognize some things don't work. Some things, no matter what you do, you're going to get the same kind of result. When you hit that kind of nerve, when you hit that kind of place, you have to understand, you have to recognize, you have to let it go. You have to learn how to let go of stuff that it's out of your hand, you know? Some things we can't do it, man, like, let it go. This is what we're saying here. I mean, this week I went through this, and I'm like, what's going on here? Like, why this thing has to be tried again? Like, seriously. Don't you see 3 times, 4 times it's happening the same? No matter what other ways you're trying to do this, the end result is whatever you're seeing it, you know, like. And then when you start seeing these things, it's so terrible for your mind, for your soul, for your belief system. And then, you know, like, your ego is getting crushed because your spouse, your brother, your friends, everyone's telling you, like, you know, what you're doing is not working, and you're like defending yourself, like, dude, no, it's gonna work, and this is why it's gonna work, this is why it's not working. It's all let it go, you know. Like, when you know, experiencing drifting, the word I use, because you're just like, at this point, you're just not even coasting, you're drifting, and you're not actually getting someplace that you're really wishing to get to. So now, when this is happening, you must let go of this thing that you are on that path.
Yeah. So when you're trying something and it's not working.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, that's happened to me a lot of times, and I'm sure it's happened to you guys as well, just like Varu said. And then that's perfectly normal. Like, that's bound to happen, like, pretty much with anything that you try to do out there, especially if you're just in the starting stages and you don't clearly know what's going on. You're out there, you're experiencing stuff, and so, you know, you're doing your best, and you should congratulate yourself for at least, you know, taking action and doing something, you know, because some people are not even willing to do that. They're not even willing to take some sort of action, or even start, or even, you know, put themselves through a situation that's sort of uncomfortable, because if you don't actually understand things, it's uncomfortable because you don't know what you're doing. But at that same time, you know, you should recognize that you're still taking some sort of action, and that's still, you know, you're on the right path. However, you know, like, it's not okay that, you know, if you're trying something, it's not okay for you to continue to try the same thing if it's not working. Like, if it's not working, you have to stop and you have to think about, like, why it's not working, and really analyze that, you know. And sometimes it's understandable, because sometimes you fall into a comfort zone, and, you know, because you understand how to do that, and even if it's not working, you would rather just continue doing that because you've already done that so many times. It's became very comfortable, instead of trying something new that could actually fix the problem. But, you know, you're so, you know, stuck in that comfort that, you know, you're unwilling to do something different. So always, think about what your target is, think about what your purpose is, and, consider that and be like, okay, like my goal is to get to that purpose, and if this isn't doing it, I have to switch, I have to do something, I have to take some sort of different action. And here, as we say, I mean, sometimes, yeah, like you said, it's really a combination of multiple things. You can't just be throwing money at it, like you were saying. You have to educate yourself. You have to, reach out to your alliances and your relationships if you have those. So, and of course, some money, of course, could help, and amongst other things. But you have to see what situation you're in and see what's going to be best. I think it really depends on the situation, which one you're going to use more, depending on where you're at. So, but never continue to do the same thing. That's just horrible, and that'll get you in a very yeah, like it's terrible, like you were saying. It'll get you in a very like negative mindset because it's not working, and nobody likes it when they're doing the same thing and it's not working. Like it can get very you can get very negative like that because it's not working, and so you have to do something different. And so yeah, and it's of course for your belief system as well, because it'll definitely affect your belief system, because if this is what you're doing here, you might end up doing that with other things in your life as well. As soon as you hit something that you're not going to be willing to do some sort of a different action. So you have to do it for your overall belief system. That way you understand that. And that way, for every single situation in your life, you're able to, take some sort of action, different action that'll help you, actually, fix whatever is going wrong, instead of just continue doing the same thing. So, yeah.
Oh yeah. Otherwise, if you don't do it, you're just drifting.
Mm-hmm.
You're not getting any place. So, next, don't piss off your partners. It's not going to be easy to get out of it. So make sure you are on the right path regardless of what is going on. Be transparent. There's like, the transparent is the last. So the thing is, earlier what we talked about, if you do all this, if you have partner such as husband, wife, business partner, friends, traveling someplace, and you have a partner sitting next to you, you're gonna piss these people off. And now you have a crazy thing in your hand to try to solve it. And you better be good at it, because if you're not, then you have even further escalations in your hand. So don't piss off people, it's better. If you're gonna piss off somebody, then make sure you already decided that is it, But if you do, you're gonna find yourself not going to be easy. Get out of it. So make sure you are in the right path, regardless of what is going on. So if you piss off people, sometimes it's, I've realized that sometimes it's out of your hand. People get pissed off, and if you're doing the right thing, you are on the right path, eventually they're going to see that what you're doing it's good. It has a good base, and you're not fake, you're not just doing it to try something. You are serious, and you're doing it because you believe that this is the path. And then most of the time, not all the time, most of the time, you're going to achieve good things. Your belief system will take you there, and your determination and hard work. And those people, those partners, will eventually see that and realize they come and either start helping you again, giving hand, or praising you, or stop nagging you. So this is what happens. That's why we say there's always hope, right? So when this happens, the hope is there. You're gonna prove yourself if you stay true to your end goal, the end target. So So yeah, like right here, I'm saying like don't piss off your partner. If you don't have to, don't do it. If you must continue, make sure that you let them know that I'm sorry, I apologize. This is not I'm doing this to piss you off, but it is what it is. You sometimes you're just gonna do what you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So don't piss off your partners. Yeah. So. Yeah, so I think one of the fundamental things that you should do with like any partner really is really listen. Listen to them and really have an understanding for that other individual, and express some sort of empathy, because they are your partner after all. You chose them, or they chose you. But eventually, I mean, there was like a mutual, agreement, that you both should be partners here. And so because of that, there's got to be some sort of empathy there, and some sort of deep understanding of the two individuals. And so, definitely do that. And of course, create that space, create that comfort for the two of you to actually be fully open and transparent with whatever it is, with who you guys are, because communication is superb in relationships. The better the communication is, that the better that relationship's gonna be. So communication is really important, but more important, it's transparent communication, as opposed to because if the communication if there isn't that comfortable space to communicate, what's going to happen is that sure, you may get some sort of communication going, but it may not be the most transparent. These people might not be as fully honest, or they might not express to you their deepest things to you, the things that actually matter, that are going to make the difference. And so you're not going to have enough information to actually communicate with that individual. And so yeah, it's gonna make it more difficult. And so yeah, I mean, like we're saying here, I mean, usually that's really what happens there, when you end up pissing off your partners, is usually because they just don't feel understood. They don't feel like you necessarily understand where they're coming from, and you're not expressing that empathy for them. Like okay, I understand where you're coming from. I understand how you see this, but and then you can go ahead and express your point of view, as opposed to sort of neglecting what they feel, what they see fit, and just imposing your own idea, imposing your own thing, or not even listening. That can happen sometimes too, where you just don't listen to the other person, and you sort of just assume things. You pretty much create your own story in your own head about the other person. You believe that this other person believes certain things. And so yeah, so you have to listen, have some empathy, and of course have that transparent communication.
Beautifully said. Next, remember, this is what we talk about, which is what we go through as a company, as individuals in our lives, with trying and pulling and pushing, going towards our target. We experience a lot. So these are real life experiences of just this week. So I'm going to continue. You don't have to deceive and feel bad because you deceived, you weren't true. If you do everything by the book, such as have rules, have law and order, and guide your thoughts, so important. How do you do this? So important. So like a lot of times we do stuff that we feel shame and we don't want to talk about, we don't want to say, or sometimes we do stuff that it's evil considered, and depending who you talk to, of course, but a lot of times it's like if you're gonna harm someone, or you're gonna rob their months of work or their money or something, that's deceiving. That's you doing something that they're gonna lose something big they have to work for, or they've worked for. So, and then most likely that's going to make you feel bad, hopefully. But sometimes people don't even feel bad about that. But normally you feel bad about it. If you do everything by the book, you don't have to deceive anything. You don't have to lie. You don't have to cheat. You don't have to do anything, you know? If you do stuff just randomly, just to get it right now, most likely that's the road you're gonna hit, and you're gonna piss off some people like that. So throughout these 30 years, I've seen it all. I've seen it over and over in a different way with different people, but the end result was about the same. So don't deceive anybody if you don't have to. Just be, transparent, and if something you're doing is not working, don't try to protect yourself. Don't try to make any excuses. Don't try to diminish the outcome that is not coming out like how you want it to be, and then talk like this is nothing. It's okay. It's gonna be okay. Most of the time it's not gonna be okay. So it's important that you realize this, you understand this, and then how you gonna fix it. Start thinking about that. You can have other people involved in it too if you're not very good at that, because we're not good at everything. We all have our weak points, weaknesses, and we have to recognize where it is, and then we have to kind of work around that. When you have people helping you on your weak points, you're going to become better, stronger version of you because of that. And then most likely you're going to learn something too over there. Eventually, hopefully, you're going to get good at what you're not so good at. So sometimes we have capabilities of how good we get. I do, and I recognize that, and then I get to a certain point and I stop. I can't excel from there. But I now I become a little bit aware because I understand what that was, and I'm just very transparent. Really, seriously. Maybe not everything in my heart, but everything that I'm working on, I'm very transparent because I want the community, I want the help, I want the team to work with me for me to achieve even more. This is how it's going to work.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so you don't have to deceive and feel bad if you do everything by the book and have rules and everything. So definitely, I mean, like when things have structure, when things have there's a guide and you're doing everything correctly, where usually those everything that you find in the books and everything, and the law and order and the rules and everything, that's really meant to really create a scenario where both individuals are satisfied with the end result, whether that's business or whether whatever it is. They're usually either for your protection, the protection of the other individual, or so that there's a mutual understanding, mutual agreement. Everything is created in that way. So you stepping out of that, would mean that, you want to get an upper hand over the other person or something at that point, or you want the other person to lose something, or, something along those lines where it's not balanced anymore. It's not a mutual win anymore. It's more like your win and it's their loss. And so, you definitely don't want to do stuff like that, because yes, you will end up deceiving the other individual. And that will lead really to that won't lead you down a good path, because you'll have to constantly be doing that, and it's like it's just not a good way of living life, because at the end of the day, when you're by yourself, you know what you're doing, you know what's going on. It's like you can lie to everybody, you can deceive everybody, but at the end of the day, you know the truth, you know what you're doing. And so yeah, this will lead you eventually to feel really bad about yourself. And so I mean, eventually, you should feel like really bad to a point where you stop doing that. Or maybe right now that you're hearing us talk about it, you just don't even start. So yeah, it's just not worth it. You're like, all you're really going to create is a very temporary win, because eventually, if you continue to do that constantly, eventually, you will get caught. So some way, somehow, somebody will find out, and it's pretty much over at that point. Because that's it. It's gonna be over. You're gonna lose, and that might, who knows where you get caught, but that may spread all around, and so as soon enough, everybody will know, like, the type of person you are, and so reputation is a big deal, and so once that's broken, I mean, that's gonna take a while to rebuild, and so. It's better if you just do things, fair and square, and you do things by the book, and you follow the rules right from the beginning. That way you avoid going through all that. And if your journey, if your purpose means a lot to you, you don't want to compromise your purpose and your goals and everything by doing something like that, So just do things by the book, do them right, and treat your relationships properly. Make sure it's always win-win. And you'll get to your purpose and end goal much faster and the right way.
Yes. One thing I was thinking was, like, if you don't pay attention, that's gonna cause you to be like almost like like confused, dazed, and trying to find yourself, like, what the heck is going on, like that thing,
Yeah. That too,
yeah. It's important to keep people that you've worked with before, and you're going to meet them in the future. Yeah, keep those people in your circle, and don't close the doors like the nexus that we know and learn how to agree the importance of it. So something happened this week with and this was happened over a text. I was excited. I said what I said, and this person was trying to. My dad used to say this thing, like, don't try to find hair in the egg. You know what I mean? Like, so when we buy the egg, it doesn't exist. There's no hair in there, and then you're trying to look for it. It's like, can you like it's so stupid, like. She was doing that, this person, and slowly I had to bow down and with the words and step aside, and that in my mind caused it to close the doors, right? I would never want to share anything with this person again, and that won't be good, nor for me or for that person. And if you guys know the purpose of Nexus, it's good. If you don't, you should look into it. This is something comes from way thousands of years back. That this explains how this thing works in our minds. How it works is we have a key maker inside of us, and we find words, we find values and stuff that helps us to open certain doors, certain people to come forward and start sharing their stories or to tell their side of the story, and those words are the key to open this door, and other words could close the door, could create keys that closes the door, and you have to reopen it with using other words and other feelings, other thoughts. And sometimes it gets so bad that you want to not only close the door but lose the key too on top of it, and that's a shame. And why do that? It's not easy to find friends, female people, and if you do have them, cherish them and keep them around, and you don't have to lose the key on them. But sometimes it's better to do it than not to do it, because if it's gonna make you feel bad, it's not gonna help you to work on your end goal. Then maybe it's better to like let go some things, so you can refocus, you put your energy in some place that is gonna work for you. So something happened this week that I had to make a choice. I had to make a decision and close it, and surely close the door. And I feel really bad about it. I feel very sad. But I'll get over it. Pretty much over it. But I don't know what to say. If you don't have to do it, don't do it. It's better. That's all I can say, I guess. So what else here? Nexus. I explained the Nexus. You guys should look into the Nexus. This is like amazing. How to agree. The importance of it. You have to learn how to agree with somebody if you don't know how to agree. It's a learning process. So I feel like what happened here was one-sided. And there's in sports analogy, if you play one-sided, if there is no opponent team, there's no real game over there. It's a practice. So I feel like when it's one-sided, I don't want to play that game. So if it is for you, then you have to probably make a choice, make a decision, and I think this is enough. It's making me bring my energy down. I want to stop it.
All right, so it's important to keep people that you've worked with before. I think this applies for. I've pretty much done this. Like I haven't separated myself from everyone that I've worked with, actually, even though they're all pretty much in the same vicinity. So it's pretty easy, to always keep those people close and still talk to them. I mean, after all, they're still very good people, and they're friendly, and of course, I feel good. And so don't close any doors. That's something that I pretty much learned while working here, actually. Because back then I would close doors like it was nothing, man. Like I was throwing trash away or something, like I would just close here and there, because to me, there wasn't that much of an importance, to relationships. But at the same time, I never really took the time to build those relationships, so it didn't really matter to me because, I never invested lots of time with those people. So, to just close the door on that person, it was fairly easy because there was no connection, no emotional connection there. So it was just like whatever, But eventually, once I started to work here, and then I started to listen to Varus. I think Varus was the one who said it the most here. And I started to really think about that, and it really got me thinking and processing, and really until eventually, it really got to me, like the importance and the reason why you shouldn't close any doors on people. No matter what happens, you should always, have like a mutual understanding, and always leave that door open for the future, primarily because sometimes things do get a little bit emotional. Sometimes a person may get very frustrated, very angry, and stuff like that, and a lot of factors contribute to a person's behavior at the time. So you always want to leave that door open because in the future that person can change, and you kind of do that for that specific reason, because people can change. And so by you doing that, you're offering that other person the opportunity to change. And if in the future they feel like they've changed enough to become part of your life once more, then that possibility is there, and they can always feel free to come back into your life. And so I think it's very important. And like you said, About the key, I don't know too much about Nexus, so I mean, I think you explained that pretty well, but
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
So the Nexus is something that been predicted. Is that the word? Like being shown, like being showcased,
Portrayed,
showcased
as well.
Roman ruins. You can see it. They've had made this. The recent explanation of that is in the movie Matrix. Neo goes into this space where he has to make a choice. He has to find a key maker, and he has to open certain doors, and the key maker dies. And this is in the movie. When you watch it, you have to consider it that this is happening. Somebody's in your mind, internal. You know, you have this disagreements, and fights, and want to get there, and then you have to open this door, and then find this other place. It's crazy like that. So, but they made it like they're playing this movie. That's where you can see what the Nexus really truly is. This recent the video that was able to portray that. So let's move on. Trust. It's a big word. Yeah. It's important to trust. Who to trust? It's a game. You need to learn and what?
You need to learn.
You need to learn, and it's difficult but it's worth it.
You might want to say that sentence again.
That's fine. I mean, you know, like meanwhile, I'm thinking where to say what to say. Like, okay, this is why this word is here, because some things happened this week that I feel like there was no trust, and kind of like was confusion, where it was like, are you trusting me? Do you trust me? That kind of confusion. Obviously, the trust has to be there to have people, to keep people close to you, close. If you lose trust, then you kind of can't keep those people too close to you any longer. They'll have to fall into the beyond the trust. So now, when you trust people, obviously, when you're doing work, when you're doing important things, there's going to be some mishaps, and there's going to be some things that you don't get it right away, and then it takes a little second here and there time to understand what happened. And in that moment, you question the trust, you question your loyalties or stuff like that. So it's important to trust. This is a big word. That's what I'm saying, because it's if you lose trust, you kind of lose everything. But if you keep the trust, you kind of have everything, even if you're there or you're not. So it's very important. This is a big word, really. It's a game. That's why I've been saying game, because you're playing it. You're like, it's back and forth, like it's a court. It's very difficult, but it's worth it. You have to put effort, energy into working on your trust. So it's when you have the trust, things are easier. Things are gonna move along, and it's worth it to put that effort and time into it.
Yeah. So trust is a big word. I mean, it's very important, definitely. I mean, and yeah, for sure. I mean, it's something that's actually pretty difficult, but you have to learn it, because like we've been saying pretty much in every podcast episode, like you can't do anything by yourself. You need people, you need other individuals, helping you out, whether that's you as a company, you have your employees, or you have partners, or you have whoever is helping you out. You have to be able to pick those people properly, and of course, you have to trust those people, because those people, they have to be able to feel like they can pretty much take over as far as like whatever duty, whatever zone you actually are trusting them with. So they have to feel like there's a mutual trust. And so at that point, you're able to, hand over responsibility, and you have that confidence, you have that secureness that that other individual is somebody that you can trust. And of course, this goes backwards as well. You have to make yourself a trustable person as well. So you yourself, you have to learn the skills that are going to demonstrate to the other person that you also are worth it of trusting. That way that trust is very mutual, and the two of you really confide in each other, and you both trust each other, and that way you're both able to make great things happen. But if there's no trust, there's always going to be like that, there's going to be a lack of commitment, really, because at that point, like, if you don't trust somebody else, you can't commit to somebody you don't trust. Like, that's just not going to happen, like because that would just be crazy. Like, why would you commit to something, or to someone, really, if you don't trust them? So definitely it's very important, that you're able to learn that skill of showing yourself as a trustable person, and also being able to identify who is trustable and who is not. That way you can avoid certain things that might go sideways in the future. So
Yeah, for sure. When you were saying how you said it, how you put it, it's as true as not only going to work for a company, also the person that it's taking the job coming into that company, it's also trying to see that if they can, or he or she can trust the company, that all the effort she or he going to put into it, that it's going to be worth it, and she's going to have the backing of the company. And that's very true. Everyone's trying to, not trying, but like everyone's looking to have that trust, And it's so true. Because I like to look at things both ways. I like to look at things from point of compassion and empathy, and putting yourself into somebody else's shoes. So that's how I see things. So we are on the last question here, because we kind of like finished this week what we went through and how we experience things, how we see things. Hopefully this was really helpful, and please don't forget to do likes the bottom on YouTube, and also leave comments, because YouTube loves to see comments, and we appreciate that. We also want to know what you think about what we're talking about. We want to learn more, because we love learning. This is what we do here. So the last question is always, because the podcast is called Develop Your Mindset, we close it with develop your mindset on building relationships. Everything is developing, everything is a mindset, everything a belief system. So building relationship is also true as everything else, that it's in development phase. So building a relationship is such a great thing, such a good thing, that there's so much out of that. One example I want to put out is, like, relationships are so amazing that it doesn't matter for 10 years you don't see this friend that you had really good relationship with. 10-15 years later, you're gonna see that person. It's gonna be like you just left off. You're gonna start using the same words, the same belief system, the same mutual respect and love towards each other. And like that's why relationships are so amazing. Like, they don't disappear, man. Like 10 years later, you see them, it's like it was next day.
Mm-hmm.
So it's so amazing like that. So cherish your good relationships, and then build them. Don't let them go for waste, and put time in it. Sometimes pick up the phone and then just text, I miss you, I love you, and I hope you're doing well. Those few words gonna refresh the relationship. So put the effort, put the energy in it, and it's gonna be great.
Yeah, so develop your mindset on building relationships. So definitely, I mean, once you develop yourself, you develop your own mindset. I think it really makes you just it's like a magnet, you know, to you know, just the type of relationships that you're looking for. So definitely, it really helps when you're able to work on yourself. That way, you're able to you yourself, you're able to fulfill yourself, and by that, you know, you actually have some value to offer to your relationships, and that's really the best. And when you work on yourself, you also understand, you know, how the mind works. And so when you're building your relationships, you know, you're able to have more empathy. You're able to have a more of a deeper understanding of the other person, you know, as opposed to somebody who doesn't work on themselves. They kind of don't understand this. So always when you're developing your own mindset, you're also it's you can pretty much say that when you're developing yourself, you're also, you know, as a I'm forgetting the word too, but but pretty much like at the same time, you're also helping develop your relationships, because, you know, by you working on yourself, you're able to be in a place where, you know, you can actually offer something to your other relationships, and you're in a good place. So that's really the beauty of it. And so always continue to build your relationships. You know, you never know what might come from them. You know, you can achieve so many things by yourself, but when you're able to have relationships and have people actually help you out, you can achieve even more things than just the things that you can achieve on your own. So definitely always work on that.
Yeah. Well, we're done with the questions. I hope you guys liked what we did here, and please let us know. Leave comments down below. And we'll be doing this again next Saturday. We're always one Saturday ahead, so you guys gonna see this week, last week's. And if you guys have anything that you want to share with us that we can probably look into doing a podcast about, let us know. If you wanna, you're someone that have a book or a company or something important that people could get lots of value from, please contact us and let us know. If you fit the podcast, we will love to have a guest here so we can sit and chat about a lot of stuff that people find value from, and let us know. Contact us, and yeah, it was amazing, man.
Yes, it was. Yes, it was. I mean, so thank you very much, everybody, for watching another episode of the podcast. And as always, there will be links down below so you guys can check out our social medias. There will also be a link down below so you guys can check out our shop with all of our merchandise, from these mugs. We've got shirts. We've got other things in there too. I just worked on that yesterday. So there's a few new items there. If you want to support the podcast, you guys can go ahead and go to the shop and purchase one of our official podcast merchandise. But yeah, and other than that, yeah, I mean, hit the like button, comment, and subscribe as always. And thank you very much.
Thank you, and we appreciate you guys. We'll see you next week.
See you next week.